Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Leo August 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and I've done a number of one-on-one readings for Leos over the course of the last month from different parts of the world. Clairvoyant readings, that is, and if you might be interested to see what's involved, have a look at the information that's in the description box below. Now, I've also done a lot of healings for people as well. Healings are free. Check out the information that's in the description. But now, as the subscribers know, and it's always wonderful to see the subscribers, thank you for having me in your home, and I really enjoy and look forward to seeing you each month and sharing your company. Now, as you know, we don't have any video advertisements breaking their way into this content, and so you get to enjoy the experience directly without any interruption. Now, you also know that we only use 5 cards because we don't just take a 5-second look at a card. They actually speak volumes to us depending on how they are arranged between themselves, the suits, the numerology, and the different things that are going on. Now, this is an Italian, well, it's a deck which is painted in the style of Italian, with the scenery and actors, I suppose, of different parts of history, but mainly Italian Renaissance, or things that would be notable in the Italian Renaissance period, which was back when, around the 1600s or something like that. History buffs might know more about that. But I think that you will find the art in this actually really beguiling and beautiful. It's hand-painted, it's colourful, and it's packed full of interesting things, which I might point out with a pen if something jumps up at me. But now let's take your 5 cards, shall we, and get the reading underway. And what's the first one? The 7 of Coins. See, interesting things there straight away. The 6 of Cups. This is the 2 of Cups. You're going to love the imagery on this. Wait till you get to have a look at this. There's the 7 of Wands. Well, I just take that top card and be done with it. And there it is, the Star. I love that card. Probably my favorite energy, the Star. Anyway, why don't you come sit down here next to me? And together, let's have a good close look at the paintings on these cards while I do your reading for you. Fascinating spread of cards here for you. Sometimes you're feeling that you're not on top of your best, but you have great success after some strength, wonderful love, and tremendous protection from the divine. I want to have a look at this 7 of Coins first and see what's in the painting, shall we? Well, what is here? Well, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gamblers. They look like the pages of the various suits, I suppose. This Page of Swords has given up. He's thrown all of his cards down on here. The Page of Cups is still holding onto some cards and betting a gold coin. This Page of Coins is enraptured by the shower of coins coming down here. And the Page of Wands here, well, he's folded his hand, but I think he's probably a pretty good player and got things to do. Now, here is a sleeping baby. Here is a chest of treasure. Here is a soul in purgatory asking for release. This is the Chariot of Saturn. There is the full moon. There is a lily plant, and there is a plant in bearing fruit. Now, there may be a feeling of stagnation around you, for a moment anyway, because I get here the astrology of Saturn in the 3rd decan of Taurus, the 11th to the 20th of May. Well, Saturn, as you will recall, is the slow-moving, restrictive planet, and Taurus is the fixed sign of Earth, and bulls plod along, don't they? So there might be some feeling of restriction, of resignation, a hesitation, or some apparently insurmountable obstacle in your mind, or a fear of falling. Maybe I think it is because, and there could be some delays in payments is what I'm seeing, but you should be looking for long-term results, and there's a slow but steady growth here. You might have to wait for money because there could be a delay in payouts or payments to you. And maybe you might be feeling that you're working through something of a dry spell. your ability to deal with things in your mind you may feel as being blocked by dire and fearful expectations. So step back and analyze the situation. It's certainly not the end of the world. Now, the fact of the matter is that sometimes challenges do come along to good people. And it can be disturbing and heart-wrenching at times. And if you are having one of those dark days, it's okay. It's okay to feel that darkness. Because when challenges come back to back to back, and it seems like something is after you, something is attacking you, something is attacking your journey, look for the lesson in it all. You see, you grow through what you've gone through. The question is, are you willing to go through it? When those challenges come, what are you going to do? Are you going to allow the situation to dictate the way you feel and how you handle it? Are you going to fall over or fall down or fall apart? Or are you going to face the issue with courage and resolution? You already know darkness, so embrace it. Embrace the darkness. Don't look away from it. Own it. You own it. Walk one step after another. Never surrender. Remember that even in the most wretched of times, don't pause. Remember not to stop. Remember not to hesitate. Take that first step and start walking. Always hold your head high and let your spirit rise. You are a child of the divine. Don't allow yourself a switch-off button. I know there is always an answer. No matter how dark that place may be, there is always a way out. Keep going. Hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. Have faith. Know that on the other side of your pain is something good, and in the case of you, there is success. Now, there was some work to do, of course, as you would expect, before success in matters, and let's have a look at this Seven of Wands. I imagine there's some work to do, and that's some energy that's coming through. Let's have a look at it here. Well, the scenery is quite straightforward. This is one of those speakers, almost like the speakers that one gets in public parks. Hyde Park in London is one famous for it. Also, the Domain in Sydney, Australia is famous for it. Here's a man rather enthusiastically giving his point of view about things. His purse is completely indifferent. This young man, a sportsman, is quite interested in it. This lady here is obviously of some wealth, is just standing by neutrally while she's handing a coin to this person here, either as a gift or as return for a service. Now, astrologically, this is Mars in third decan of Leo. And we have with this number 7 here, I have a mystical association with the planet of Venus, actually. Now, this far down the suit of wands, down here at the 7, we're a long way away from the ace, and added to that is the feminine energy of Venus, and that further dilutes the strength of the fire in this suit of wands. Now, normally, Mars, of course, being in Leo, Mars and Leo get on famously as a general rule, but in this case, as I say, that particular harmony is weakened by the numerology and the planet associated with the numerology. And also, the feminine energy of Venus really just does not sit well with Mars. And you might think that with respect to something, it is only your Mars energy which is keeping you going at the moment. So this is a time for you where you will have and you will need courage, daring. You'll have an impact on things. You might be taking some risks, and you won't be taking any compromises. You'll be pushing through obstacles. Now, the male warlike power of Mars, combined with the daring of the lion in Leo, produces incredible force and impact. The fight will be carried out impeccably. Mars in Leo usually can indicate somebody with authority and power. Now, I think that you will have authority and power, but in this particular scenario, you are going to have to dig deep and use all of your resources in what could be unsurprisingly, a challenging situation. And there's now a lack of focus that you need to be aware of. So, because that's that Venus coming into Mars. Now it can, in relation to a relationship, it can relate to relationship problems where you're running out of energy and ideas, how to keep sustaining it, or to work out other matters where you're coming to the end of your tether with respect. I think really that compromises are out of the question now. They would require a denial of your own inner reality. It's time for you to stand your ground and remain true to your energies unconditionally. Do you know that being true to yourself includes standing up for your own truth even in the face of immense resistance? Trust your power in this present situation. You must assert yourself at all costs. Are you ready to accept all of the consequences? Become aware of whatever fears have prevented you until now from asserting yourself. Say this to yourself: I express my own reality openly and honestly. Because if you do that, then what is going to happen is that you will be achieving success. And I think that this energy here is indicating that. Let's have a look at the art first, as has become our custom, and see what there is. Well, here is looks like a guard, really, doesn't it? Holding up someone who would be a guard of something or other. Now, what is there here? This looks like a miser counting his money. This is the chariot of Jupiter. This is a fool who has lost all of his money. Well, this is a fool who looks like he's come into money. This is a rose in the shape of a mandala. You know, those things that the Tibetan Buddhists focus, well, and other people as well, I suppose, focus on to go into meditation and prayer. And here is a rich man giving money to a poor man while using some scales to do so. Now, what I like about this is that it has the moon ruling the second decan of Taurus associated with it in this position that's here. That's the 1st to the 10th of May, incidentally. Well, what's good about that is that the moon is exalted in Taurus. Now, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and for the moon to be exalted in Taurus, that means that that Venus hosts the moon and lets the moon feel comfortable and express herself perfectly while in the sign of Taurus. It The transient nature of the moon, however, because it's always moving, isn't it? It's the quickest of the planets, and it's dark. It waxes, it wanes, it's full, it's dark as a new moon. But the moon likes nurturing and comfort. And Taurus, of course, well, that's the poster child for the love of material things. Taurus loves good wine, good food, good fashion, good sex, good everything. So the moon and Taurus are really well suited to each other for bringing about material success here. So there is external manifestation of the inner with you here. There's success and transformation. Now, from a deep subconscious level of your being, and there's the moon, there is springing an urge for you to express yourself externally here. This is bringing a success, a success, a success. You see, success is not a continuum. You have one here, you have one here, you have one here, you have one here. But this is a time of success for you. You see, do not be concerned. Keep moving. Use your strength and courage. You end up with success. It's a time also for generosity, paying it forward. You may well be receiving something of a financial boost here, you know. I think it's also a time for you to Remember the successes that you have had in your life and to build on those. There is certainly here around you now a desire for success. Well, the advice is to risk, managed risk, that is, to be committed, trust your intuition. Be open to your success. It is no less than a gift you can learn to accept thankfully and humbly. Real success only comes once you have learned to serve. Success under these conditions enriches all levels of your being. And what does success mean for you at the moment? Visualize as precisely as possible what your success looks like. Visualize it at night, specifically before you go to sleep, and say this to yourself: my self-acceptance and my self-confidence, they are the keys to real success. Blessing upon blessing pouring down upon you. So let's have a look now, which then goes and shows us even further, which is this card of the Star, that major arcana, which down in that right hand forward underpins this Six of Coins so beautifully, you know. Now here the Star is depicted as a naked woman with long blonde hair going into this river before. In her left hand she has a Doric, sort of a vase which shows simplicity. In her right hand there's an Attic type of a vase which shows sophistication and intelligence. There's a Rosicrucian rose here with a raven on top, and I have absolutely no idea why that would be there. It's got no symbology for me at all. Maybe that's something to do with the artist. It might be something that the artist has just thrown in about himself. There are, nevertheless though, there's an 8-pointed star there, a 5-pointed star there, and these other things are representations of the classical planets, with the exception of Mercury by the looks of it. So there's, well, the representation of the classical planets, being those that you can see with the naked eye, incidentally. Now there are 2 hills, and on this hill is an acacia tree growing, which is a symbol of grace and love. And isn't that appropriate for you? Because a star, every woman, every man is a star. Now what I have here is Aquarius ruled by Saturn, with Neptune exalted in this particular thing. Now Aquarius is all about the individual and uniqueness, and yet it has an overall humanitarian outlook. Well, the star shares these qualities in that it is trying to remind you about the divinity and uniqueness within you, while encouraging you to be a pipe for bringing down your highest potential. This is all about the promise of things unseen. You can see that there is yet good things to come to you, and they are making their way to you. There is a crystallization about. Now you will have an inspiration and a self-recognition. There's a radiating charisma about you at this time, a clear vision, a trust in yourself, and a connection to universal intelligence. You know, there is in a sense a new crystal clear vision that's going to provide form and purpose to that which only a moment ago was only a vague impression. You gain a more penetrating view into the boundless potential of your development. The power of the inspiration you receive gives wings to your soul and lets the apparently impossible become manifest in marvelous ways. Now, despite that those are a couple of things that we talked about earlier on there, this is nevertheless, and particularly because of this, and you've got this 2 of Cups that we're yet to talk about, this is a time when you are going to be fulfilled and inspired by life. And it's a reminder to follow your dreams, those dreams which give you the most inspiration. Be open to love and trust creation and what it brings. And encouragement is being given to you that you have had testing times in the past, and now is the time to move forward with renewed hope and live an inspired life that you can express yourself in fully. Let your star rise and stay in contact with the earth. Trust your environment and find ways to let others share in it. You'll be tested and recognized by the fruit you bear. Are you totally fulfilled in your present area of work? How can you turn it into something which is more satisfying? Check to see if you are doing everything possible to bring your ideas to fruition. Say this to yourself. I am a radiant light being. I am a star that walks upon a bigger star. I see what can be of benefit to people around me. My creative powers of imagination and my connection to all-encompassing consciousness show me the way to realize my ideas. Yes, it really is very, very good, isn't it? Let's say something again about this first card here. You see that when you have those feelings, say to yourself, I have the courage to believe that everything in my life is happening for the best. And I have the courage to let go of those things which are no longer serving me. Now, here we have the Two of Cups. And what's happening here? Well, a couple of lovers. Now, of course, the lesbian and gay audience, just make the necessary adjustment to the genders, please, because it has no effect upon the message that's coming here at all, which is the same for whatever people's persuasion is. Now, but here though we have a man and a woman holding each other and gazing at each other. Now, in this cup that's here, this silver cup, there are snakes coming up, as you can see there, and inside of it there is a woman who's turning away weeping, while the man, her lover, grabs his love letters and looks like he's scrunching them up as he's storming out of the room. In this cup here, we have a satyr, which is a mythological male figure that was interested in sex non-stop. Well, arguably, nothing's changed. And a female figure that is a nymph who also was interested in sex non-stop. And they are cavorting with one another. Now, this cup is held by a lion and its tail. Now, in Western esoteric thought, the silver is the feminine principle and the gold is the masculine principle. And each of us have masculine and feminine principles within us. But the astrology of this card is one that I love here because placed where it is Venus in the first decan of Cancer, 21st of June to, it would be the 1st of July. Now, here, this really exemplifies the benefit of you having drawn this card in the center here, because Venus is the most receptive of the planets and is the planet of love, beauty, creativity, and relationship and happiness. And Cancer, well, Cancer is the most nurturing of the signs, providing support, healing, company and comfort. Now, together what they do is they operate to produce receptive love, happy relationships and emotional exchange. So you can look at close bonds, togetherness, love, harmony, and a relationship that is strengthening and certainly mutual love and respect. I will say this though, if you love yourself, you are attractive to others. Your receptiveness towards yourself prepares you to give yourself totally to someone else. A deep emotional exchange will be possible, a giving and receiving of overflowing love. The union occurs in complete harmony. as symbolized by these two figures standing here. This is an image of complete joy and silent ecstasy. Your readiness to receive love makes you attractive. Surrender to yourself, to others, to life. Venus in Cancer. Well, Cancer more than any other sign is a receptive sign and is the house of the moon. And in Cancer, Jupiter, the great benefic, is exalted. So you have the great benefic Jupiter here, and you have the lesser benefic being Venus, both here. So this is a very productive and friendly astrological picture. Now I suspect that you're going to hear of marriage proposals or people moving in with each other. There's a close friendship here. It doesn't just have to be a romantic relationship, of course. This is talking. See, love is not just about sex and romance. It's much broader than that. But there is here a love that is both special and equal, and you'll be able to give and receive love in equal measure. Certainly the beginning of harmonious relationships is what I see. Now, with which persons and in what surroundings can you now share your love? Pay attention to the love that's coming to you now. Remain open and let it enter you and go deep inside. And say this to yourself: there is nothing to do but enjoy what life offers. I am now ready to let into my life the love which will fulfill me. Well, what a fantastic spread of cards for you. Well done, you. I really must say that that was a very interesting set of information provided by the cards for you this month, don't you think? And doesn't it look like it's going to be a fantastic month for you? And you deserve it, I think, don't you? Now, do me the favor, would you, if you did like the video, please press the like button on your way out. It helps the YouTube computer thing promote the channel, and that's the only favor I ever ask of you, so thanks if you do that, and I'll see you again next month. Now, but remember this though, until I do that you are a legend, and I do look forward to seeing you again next month, and until then, it's bye for now.